I'm live. And I want to welcome you to my favorite new moon of the year. It really is this is my favorite moon phase. It is my natal moon sign, Sagittarius. So I'm here for this. Tonight is really, really special. I left all my books in the background for you to take a look at, my spiritual entrepreneur books. But I also have my drum behind me, because we're going to do a little drumming tonight too. So if you are looking for the new moon event, you are in the right place. I want to thank you for spending part of your new moon with me. After this, did you know that we have an after party? It's a class. It's a new class that I just started last month called Wax and Wane. And so when you join it, it's $39 to join, and you get the after party after the new moon ceremony. It's a separate YouTube link. You get a private Facebook group, you get the after party for the full moon ceremony. And then you also, on top of that, get an astrological session each month, which is like a forecast for the month ahead. And this month we have 2 new moons. So there's 2 new moon after parties, and you get the high holidays. So we have Yule. So instead of just being 3 events this month, that's 6, right? Yule, new moon, full moon, astro session, 5. For $39. It works out to be like a couple bucks an hour. I hope it's the best investment you make all month long. And so today's December 1st. If you join right now, you'll be live with us tonight at 6:30 p.m. for class number 1, and with us for the rest of the month. And it's month to month, or you can sign up for the whole year and save a bunch of money, but it's month to month, so there's no commitment. So I hope you'll try it. So our moderators, thank you so much, Lauren and Circe, and our others who might be here too. We'll put the link up for you in the feed. It's magicalentrepreneur.com. It's where you want to go and register. And you can even just open a tab now and register while we're live. That's Paxton in the background. And my cat Smudge. Lee may have to exit stage left to get them to move in a different direction. They were being so good for a little while, and then they, as soon as the action starts, they get spicy. I have, yeah, all you got to see was butt. Sorry about that. I don't make the rules. I just live here. Paxerton, Peace Slice. He goes by a lot of names. I have so much to tell you about for tonight, and I want to begin by clearing the space. So I want to get right down to business, and I want to tell you, if you want to have a tool for tonight, something good, some good clearing herbs. There's lots of good clearing gemstones, right? Obsidian is good, jet, onyx, tourmaline, shungite for sure, right? So there's lots of good clearing options if you want to work with a gemstone too. Any black candle you have, I will tell you, I'm going to start making new moon and full moon candles this month because I need one, and I don't have access to new moon and full moon candles anymore in my former life. So I'm going to make you my own, but they're not ready yet. Just because I want one. So I just have a really simple little black votive with me tonight, but black candles are for the new moon, right? So they represent releasing. And so I'm just going to put that on my computer right there. Paxton says he's going to be really good now because he wants to stay. How are you this evening? Thank you for checking in from where you're coming from. We finally have some better weather here in the US, which is nice. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know it was a wet and snowy one, but I hope it was really good. And if you celebrate that holiday, and then here we are in December. It's so exciting to be here with all of you. So I'm going to burn a little white sage. Every ceremony for me has to begin with clearing. The energies are just more intense, right, at the new moon and the full moon. So we want to practice good energetic hygiene, which is to clear the space before we begin. So just a little bit for you. Part of clearing is clearing your mind, right? So I always say, clear the slate. It's the screen behind your eyes. It's what you see with your third eye. It's time to just clear that out. So let's let go of everything we've seen and heard and overthought about this last cycle, and let's just really commit to releasing that from the screen. I'm going to light it one more time, because one of the things I try to teach is when you're clearing energy, it's also important to clear behind you. Energy gets stuck in corners, and it gets stuck behind you. Where Lee is. Yeah.
Feeding the
I know. I can't get that away from him right now, but
come here. Come on, Maxie.
so let's just, as you take a breath, really think about what is it that you need to release and let go of from the last lunar cycle, which would be the last 28 days, right? So what needs to be, if you've been, really focusing on something that isn't serving you, I need you to commit to not focusing there, and putting your energy really consciously in a new place is one of the most powerful things you can do. And I'm going to talk about that tonight too. Can you visualize what it is, what needs to be released and let go? Okay. You ready? Yeah. And if you don't know what it is that needs to be released, you don't have it to do. If you don't know what it is that needs to be released, one really helpful tip is ask your spirit guides to do it on your behalf. I do that all the time. Like, hey, spirit team, because I believe we have a team up there. Hey, spirit team, I need you to take from me whatever it is that isn't going to be in service of my highest good. And I give it to you. I surrender it to you fearlessly and effortlessly, right? So you can ask that question. The other things I want to tell you, it might be helpful to let him out just because he's a distraction. Sorry, you guys. We try to do that, figure out what's the best thing to do with my big buffalo of a dog. Okay. So I want to talk about the sign for tonight. What do you need to focus on tonight for your new moon intention? So once we release, we call in. And when we call in energy, what we're doing is basically saying to the universe, this is what I want to experience. You really are choosing your own adventure in this life. And I'm sure you know that, especially if you've been with me for a really long time. Like, you are choosing what you experience. And it's conscious and it's subconscious. That's the tricky part. It could be that you're consciously saying, this is what I want to experience, or you're subconsciously saying, this is what I want to experience because I came here karmically to learn a lesson. I'm here to have this experience so that I can bring wisdom back to my community, whatever it is, right? And I know that's challenging sometimes to realize that, but if you don't like the adventure you're having, you have the power to consciously choose a new adventure. You don't have to continue with where you've been. And so tonight is about really consciously choosing that. Jupiter and Sagittarius are all about adventure. And I want you to really think of tonight as a new beginning, you going on a new adventure that you haven't been on before. And if you've been on one, I've been on a new adventure that I haven't been on before for the last couple of years. But it's kind of kicking into high gear, and it probably is for a lot of you too. And if it hasn't yet and you wanted to kick into high gear, then you can consciously choose to manifest that this evening. Okay. But I want you to think about that tonight. What is the adventure that I'm now really ready to experience? And I did an experiment with this last night because I've been reading a lot about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. I'm teaching a class on entrepreneurship, and that's kind of where I'm taking my students in December, is into the subconscious for manifestation. So I've been reading a lot about this. And one of the things that the subconscious can gift you is the ability to shift your perspective, right? So last night, for example, I was trying to fall asleep, having a hard time, I was kind of focusing on something that was bothering me. And so I consciously asked my spirit guides to help direct me to my subconscious, which is, I think, where your higher self lives, and show me what I need to see in that pool, in that reservoir, in that void. And it took me in a completely different direction. Immediately, my thoughts started to shift and change, and my thoughts moved in the direction of creation. They didn't move into the direction of fear or anxiety. It was all of a sudden like, whoa. So the question came up for me last night as I did this experiment: how good can it get? Instead of what could possibly happen, I think a better question is, how good could things possibly get? What would happen in your life right now that would really take it over the edge for you? Like, best possible outcome in every single scenario that you're facing, because Jupiter governs Sag, and Jupiter is like the wheel of fortune. Does anybody like that slot machine? Don't judge me, but I really like slot machines, and I really like blackjack. I'm not like a gambler, but when in Vegas, I legit, like, you'll have to pull me away from both of those things. Jupiter's the wheel of fortune. So Jupiter is like, and what I like about that slot machine, maybe it's the Leo in me, how fucking loud it is. Like if you win on that machine, it's like Wheel of Fortune. And then it's like, woo! And everybody's gathering around and you've made like $20. But it's so exciting, right? And so I'm a small gambler, but I really like a lot of the noise and the hubbub that it creates. Some people avoid it for that reason. But anyway, that's what you get when you're a Leo sun and a Sag moon. Like, woohoo, let's be in the middle of the casino and show off my $20, honey, that I hit right there. So we're there. Tonight is your Wheel of Fortune. Like you're in the middle of the Bellagio Hotel in your Leo, whatever you are self, and you're going to pull that handle down and win $20, and everybody's going to look at you like, this is this moment right now. What's your adventure? And if the Wheel of Fortune wasn't money, this is my question to you tonight, because I want you to dream big. Yeah, welcome back to YouTube with Athena. But so let's forget money for a second. If I could spin another wheel for you, like your health wheel. So your Wheel of Fortune was like, my ankle doesn't hurt anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm pain free. I'm comfortable in my body. I don't have to take as much medicine. I'm going into remission, whatever it is for you. Like imagine your health Wheel of Fortune, or imagine your parenting Wheel of Fortune, right? My kids are happy. They're going to be successful, whatever it is, whatever your wheel is. I almost want you to take out a piece of paper. And if you're brave tonight, you want to do it? We're not going to do it yet because I got to open a circle. Take out a piece of paper and a pen, and let's actually draw your Wheel of Fortune tonight. I actually think that's the best thing we can do under a Sag new moon with that Jupiter influence. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about after I open the circle, I'll tell you a little bit more about some of the other astrological happenings tonight and this week. And then whatever we don't get to is going to be in the after party, which is Wax and Wane. So if you want to join us for that, that's an extra hour that's happening tonight. And it's a class that I teach. So kind of fun if you want to continue the conversation. So let's call in our guides and guardians together. And again, thank you for being here tonight. Julie says, I live in Nevada, and she can gamble at the grocery store. It's not her favorite. I'm really glad I can't gamble at the grocery store. I think that's probably best for me. You know what I mean? I don't crave gambling, but man, when in Vegas, be in Vegas, right? Okay, you ready? So shoulders back, call your energy into present time, fix your posture a little bit, sit up nice and straight. That lets the energy run. So you have to think of the line between your booty, like where your hips are touching the floor, the tail of your spine, and the base of your skull. You have to think about that as being a line. Most of the time we sit like this, which is really shitty for your energy flow, okay? Because it's literally bending your chakras. So it's creating an arch. So when you sit up nice and straight, the reason that's so important is that it creates a direct line of energy flow. So you're instantly going to feel better. We call it more alert, but it's really your energy flowing better. That's why posture matters. And that's also going to help you physically as well as you age. So nice deep breath there. Close your eyes. And just remind yourself, because it's so true, there's nowhere else to be right now, nothing else you have to do. So just release everything out of your field for a second. Imagine that 2 feet around you is just a bubble of light, nothing penetrating it. And this is your energy coming back to you. Everything you need will be waiting for you in half an hour. And then take a moment to just be grateful for this space, for your body, for our community, and how we can gather together virtually, for the energy coming to you in this moment. And it's helpful too if you can imagine that we're all in a circle, so everybody's seated around you. Imagine that there's a big white beam of light connecting across our hands in just a giant circle. And you can feel the temperature and the vibration of that light. Your fingers should feel tingly right now. And so thank you for holding part of that light with us tonight. So we call first to the guides and the guardians of the East, as always, calling in eagle energy, hawk energy, clear sight, clear vision, and new beginnings. We ask for blessings at this new moon. help us to be curious, help us to be visionary, help us to be fearless. So lots of fire energy in the dawn too, right? Sun rising. So the guides and the guardians of the east are here. And then welcoming the guides and the guardians of the south. This is the fire energy, fire element energy. So this is courage, transformation. This is noon. So it's midday sun, center sky. So this is a moment because we have a fire moon tonight. So there's Sagittarius energy already in the field. This is about being courageous and fearless. Sagittarius asks for forgiveness, not permission. So instead of saying, well, I'll wait till someone says it's okay, Sagittarius says, I'll say I'm sorry later if I made a mistake. So all of that in the south, welcoming in the guides and the guardians of fearlessness. They're here. And then welcoming the guides and the guardians of the west. This is direction of water, the mother, the maternal, flowing energy, forgiveness, unconditional love, and abundance. So just welcoming in that western flow. This is sunset in the day. So this is the waning sun, sunset of life too. So this is middle age, 50s, 60s, 70s. So you can feel into that energy of wisdom and knowing and abundance, compassion. The guides and the guardians of the west are here. And then to the guides and the guardians of the north, this is earth energy. So this is where we find stability, patience, and peace. This is grandparent energy, masculine energy. Teaches us to slow down our movements, to be more intentional in our practice. And the guides and the guardians of the north are here. And then there's also guides and guardians of the above, which is the spirit world, and guides and guardians of the below, which is the bones and stones, right? So I always think of the above as being sort of everything that's across all time, space, dimensions, and the below as being the past, history anchored in time. But it's also our past because you've had many lifetimes and you have been buried many times and cremated many times. So you have ashes and bones all over this planet, right? So it's also you in a way when we reach to the lower world. So calling in those guides and guardians too to be with us in our space. Whew. And with that, our circle's open. That felt good. Digging into that container. Okay. So I want to take just one step back. I want to talk for just a few more minutes about everything that's happening. Do you feel better? Did you feel that drop in? And could you feel the beam of light when I mentioned it? Like hands get kind of tingly, warm. So it's good. And that's raising energy. So when we talk about raising energy and being in a container of energy, that's what we're talking about, right? And what's really powerful too, again, me studying the conscious and the subconscious right now, when you bring your focus to something and you think about it, that can be a person or, your work that you're doing. When you bring your full focus, how much energy and power you have. And when you don't, when you're constantly dispersing your energy in too many directions, nothing gets the full microscope. And so that's one of my experiments in my life right now is like, I'm trying to bring, I'm busy, right? We all are. You can't bring 100% to everything you do all the time. That's almost a Buddhist ideal. But like, instead of bringing 30%, can I bring 50%? Can I increase it by 20% what I'm bringing to this one thing and see if that makes a difference in how that thing grows or feels loved or whatever it is. So I'm just consciously play with that this month. I think that could be, if you like things like that, it could be an interesting experiment for you too. And I would love to hear from you about it. Okay, just to remind you, Pluto's now direct in Aquarius. That was as of the 19th of November. And so we have to remember that Aquarian energy is about the future. It's about, it's also about technology. It's about how we do what we do, but in more efficient ways that are better for the collective. So there's a lot of focus there. I wanted to say that the planet of expansion, which is Jupiter, is an opportunity tonight, this new moon. When you set your intentions, one of the things I want you to think about And you might want to think about right in this minute what your intention will be. Pretend you have a balloon, and tonight is helium. You have a lot of balloons, probably. That's what I'm feeling. So you have your health balloon, you have your relationship balloon, you have your like things you want to expand or build upon or you want to create, right? And I want you to envision them as like they look like little empty nut sacks, but you know what I mean? Like little deflated balloons. You know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, sorry. I'll try to be more G-rated. You have little deflated balloons. It reminds me of Paxton after he got fixed. That's kind of what I'm talking about. You know what? It proves you were paying attention. I used to do that with my students. I used to say like off the wall things just to see if people were fully awake. And it's like, oh, you're all here. That's great. So let's say you have 10 of those in front of you. And you have a helium tank, which is tonight's new moon, but you can only blow up, like, what if you could only blow up one of them? Which one would you blow up? But actually, if I was in person with people, it would be such a fun ceremony, wouldn't it? To give them balloons and have them write their intention on it and then like take a tank, but you only fill up one. And they got to choose one from their little, like, wouldn't that be fun? My old school teaching days, but it'd be so cool. And then like, which balloon do you blow up? And then to go outside maybe afterward and release them, we would do like environmentally friendly balloons. But you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be a fun ritual to watch them fly? So let's envision that that's actually what we're doing tonight. Okay, imagine that I'm giving you balloons, but I want you to really, because energy is energy, right? The more you give to one thing, the more energy that thing gets. So you can blow up 3 balloons tonight, but I would love to encourage you to just pick one. I have one balloon that I'm blowing up tonight, and it's because it's, I prep for these things. I look at these as my cosmic clean slate and my chance to like completely put love into something and give life to it. So do you know what your balloons are? You have 2. Colin's got 2. Do 2, right? Put extra helium in it. Blow it up extra hard tonight. But think about what that is. And I would encourage you to write them down too. You don't have to share them here with us. If you do, I will hold the space for your visions too. Sometimes it's nice to share it because you can feel the collective's energy going in that direction. But there's also something very valuable about keeping your magic close to you till it's hatched, So, I've seen it work both ways. So if you want to keep it close to you, that's great. And if you want to share it, I think that's really beautiful too. Okay. Let's see. Sun and moon in Sag, by the way. So we have the reinforcement, right? The sun is in Sagittarius right now and the moon is in Sagittarius. So you've got double the focus on Jupiter, which I think is really powerful. There is a point in space. One of the astrologers that I admire so much talked about the great attractor, which is a gravitational pull in space that can bend space and time. And right now it's also in Sagittarius. So we have all these additional aspects and points of energy that are being reinforced by where everything is right now. Okay, now Mercury is retrograde. It will be a retrograde until the 15th of December, which is the full moon. Isn't that interesting? So the next 2 weeks are not great for signing contracts and things like that, but I just want to put all of this on your horizon. It is okay to set intentions during Mercury retrograde. It just means we don't act on those things right now. So you got to wait till the momentum is there. So set an intention tonight, but I would not take a lot of action toward those visions and dreams until the middle of the month. Or if you can postpone kind of launching something, you can vision it and create it and put it together, but I wouldn't launch anything until the 15th. And then on the 15th, you've got lots of direct energy. Okay, good. Yeah, healing old wounds is really good for right now. A lot of people have been talking about health and healing. So where is it tonight that you really want to put that new moon energy toward healing to blow up your balloon? Okay, are you ready? I'm using my ceremonial salt just to put a little around me at the 4 corners. So I'm going to start in the east, put a little bit behind me in the south. You don't have to do this. It's just a little extra step in the ceremony process, but it creates a really tight container, especially when you're calling in energy and the energy is all direct. It can be very powerful. And we have these little jars over on Etsy. Aren't they cute to hold your salts? Okay. So I'm going to drum a little bit before we do our ceremony together. And while I drum tonight, what I want you to do is I want you to really bring all of your attention to that balloon that you've designed. I want you to imagine that balloon. I want you to imagine you taking a pen and writing on that balloon what it is that you're going to create or establish or grow. And especially if you're in my online programs, we've been talking about what you're going to create and grow. Tonight is the night to plant that seed in the biggest way. Yeah, there are much brighter aspects after December 15th for manifestation, for sure. So that's why I'm saying, like, design what it is tonight. We design during these retrograde phases. We don't stop the design process. Nature doesn't stop. But there's momentum that's building, right? And a lot of it is, Saturn has turned direct. So we don't have as much in the way of our goals and dreams right now, because Saturn can throw obstacles in your path. And then we have all this Jupiter energy, which brings just nothing but good luck and good fortune and expansion and opportunity. So this is the time. Okay. I want you to be really mindful of using this in the way that you want to tonight, because you're co-creating in a powerful way tonight of all nights of this year. So as I drum, I want you to first see the word of what you want to create. So that can be health, that can be healing, that can be peace, love. That's right. Joanna said, pull the arrow back, but don't launch it yet. If you have to, you have to. But if you can wait, it's only 2 weeks from tonight. So pull up that word, whatever your word is, or your words. And now in your mind, I want you to come up with a statement. It has to start with, I am, about that vision. I am creating love. I am enjoying health. I am establishing connection. I am experiencing abundance and prosperity. Now I want you to imagine blowing into that balloon, if you're using my metaphor for tonight. It's very Sagittarian, right? I want you to imagine blowing that sentence, that statement into your balloon. So. And that the helium tank is full of that energy, right? So it's full of health, it's full of love, it's full of strength, it's full of authenticity. And imagine that balloon just being full now with that vibration. Your words, your thoughts are so powerful. If you knew how powerful they are, you'd use them more and you'd use them less. They make ripples, they make imprints, right? Beautiful statements, by the way. Yeah, and you can fill your whole self. I love that idea too, right? I am creating, experiencing, receiving, embodying, living authentically. I am strong. These are beautiful. I'm creating love. I'm leading in the best way. I am creating a healthy mindset to establish healing in the collective and myself. From Christy, that's beautiful. And it can be your business, right? It can be your business is not my favorite word. It can be your vocation, right? Your voice, how you answer the call, as I teach my students. I'm going going to go quiet for a minute. And I want you to close your eyes too. And I want you to imagine what it would feel like to receive all of that right now. How would you feel? Where would you be? What would you see? Right? What would change about your physical reality if all of those things were to happen for you? Could you see it? It's pretty powerful, right? To really imagine. Because life changes when we manifest, right? Our life changes, other people's lives change too. Because when you manifest and you bring what you love and what you need, the universe blesses other people with that, right? So then all of a sudden everybody's better because you were here. That's why it's really important not to feel selfish for having dreams, because your dreams create other opportunities and pathways, and you never know. And sometimes, your dreams, not just for like, and again, that's why I always tell my students too, like, I'm not even talking about business right now. I'm talking about, I'm going to create my Wheel of Fortune with you. I'm talking about like your kids, right? Your grandkids, your nieces and nephews, and everybody around you. Everybody benefits by you fully expressing who you are. And everybody suffers when you don't. So what is that full expression? And when you feel like you're stuck, because a lot of people feel that way, and I don't know if this is resonating with you, but when you feel like you're stuck and you're like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Look at that. Because you're here not just to have an experience for yourself, but you're here to have an experience that impacts everybody else too. So it goes back to, I've been teaching for a long time, but it goes back to that concept of being a thermostat, not a thermometer, right? Setting the temperature and knowing that you set the temperature around you rather than just reading the temperature, right? You can change it, but it begins with your mind. Yeah, I love that. Anna said, I'm making the path for all I love. It's such a beautiful way of saying that you're a conscious creator. So part of it is taking responsibility, like, hey, I know where I am and I know what I have, right? And I know who I am. And in this moment, X, Y, and Z is serving me and it's in alignment. And in this moment, A, B, and C is not. But then comes the tough question of like, so what are you going to do about it, right? How would you change those three things that aren't in alignment so that they become added on to the list of things that are working for you? So if you are going to take me up on my offer to do a little magic with me tonight, here's my really amazing, I mean, don't be jealous of the art skills over here, because you too could draw two circles together just like that. Maybe even in the center of your page. Look, I didn't even put it in the middle. I love that you drummed with me, by the way. You want to make a Wheel of Fortune with me? I like this idea. Part of the reason why I want to leave an open circle in the middle is I kind of like the idea that we're going to have a Wheel of Fortune out here. The Wheel of Fortune machine might say $20, $50, $100, $1,000, $1 billion, jillion dollars, or whatever. But I kind of like the idea that in here, we leave room for the universe to add something to our wheel. Because, the universe can dream a better dream than you can. Have you noticed that? Like, you'll ask for all these different things and the universe brings all of that, or doesn't bring that, but brings this other thing. And you're like, whoa, I never even thought to ask for that. Right? So, okay. This is a great one, by the way, for your apothecary beautiful, vision book. I would love to see you do that. Okay, so anyway, you can draw yours, and I'm sure yours will be very, very pretty. And if you want to share this on our event page, by the way, it'd be really cool, because again, we can all hold space for you. So the wild card, the universe saying, this is what I'm going to bring you instead, is going to go in the middle in the heart. So the first thing I'm going to put is, because I think it's always good, I think the most important thing we have in life is health. I'll tell you how I make that choice. Partly it's because I've had, challenges with my own in the past, and so I've learned. But imagine, it's the one thing that if you don't have it, nothing else matters, right? Like, you can't buy it. And so it's the one thing for me, it's the baseline. Some people say wealth is their baseline, but I don't know that they've experienced health challenges, because once you have health challenges, then you realize health is the baseline. So I'm going to put health first, and then again, if you don't have the people you love, is money really that great? You can sit in a room all by yourself with $100, right? Feeling like shit. So I'm going to put family next on my wheel. You can put, again, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, in my personal experience, having the people you love around you, right? Now, you do need to pay bills, right? And be able to take care of yourself and the people you love. And so you can call that wealth or security or stability or whatever you want to call it. I think that's great. Now, I'm going to keep going around my wheel. And I just want you to keep filling it out too. And then I'll share mine. Yeah, well, Kayla's like, but I would not mind crying on my yacht. I mean, look, if the music's good enough, you know what I mean? And you're in a good place, I think that's pretty cool too. And family can be the absolute cause of your insanity. I mean, we all know that's true. Some of you may have lived through that in the last 7 days or so, got a really lovely reminder of that. So, but it is the people around us that make, I think, that make life worth living. Now I'm going in no particular order. So I've got health, family, wealth, learning, happiness. And learning goes with teaching for me, because I think learners teach and teachers learn if the environment's right. Happiness, peace, connection to source, and alignment with my purpose. I don't think I forgot anything. What else do you have? Well, pets are totally your family. Are you kidding? Around our parts, pets are family. I see no distinction. And everybody says they're not, oh, pets are pets or whatever. The grief when I lost my Bella, which hard to believe was 9 years ago, I'm not anywhere near over it. So yeah, creativity. I love that, Sue Woodward, and thank you for mentioning it. For me, creativity a lot of times is about alignment with my purpose. Like if I'm on purpose, I'm probably feeling creative, but some people might not consider their purpose to be creative. So I'm going to put creativity in there. And I'm going to put inspiration there too, because that's a big one for me. If I'm not inspired, and it takes almost nothing to inspire me. Like I can go outside and see a leaf on the ground and go, oh, look at that. And all of a sudden I'm, I'm down a rabbit hole of something. Yeah, and I'll put home. I like that too. Home in quotes, right? Home is where you are. So, hi, Christine. Motivation's good too. Okay, so here's my wheel. Again, the most beautiful art y'all will ever see. And then what I'm asking the universe, if you're just joining, is to fill in the blank here. So what is it that I didn't put here? You know what I didn't put is love. Because for me, it's like family. So I'm going to put love in the middle. Kind of makes sense with the heart. Yeah, spiritual beliefs and practice. For me, that's kind of woven into the connection to source, right? Connection to my practice, connection to my wisdom. You put love separate? Well, I put it there for them, and I figure if they want to, they'll move it down for me. Love. Okay, you feeling good? So there's a couple different things you can do magically when you have a document like this. So I made something over on Etsy that a lot of you have called sweetening powder. It's ceremonial, so it's sugar and honey and vanilla and all the good things. And so what you can do is take the sweetening powder, you sprinkle it. If you have some sugar, if you have this has honey powder and vanilla powder, so it's got some kind of fun things in it. And then what I like to do is moving to the right to activate that energy on each of the categories. So I'm sweetening family and love, and go clockwise. I'm sweetening wealth. I'm sweetening learning and teaching. I'm sweetening happiness. And like really be in the moment with each of these things, whatever yours are, right? Sweetening peace. And if you have it, keep it on your altar, because it's moments like this where you'll use it. Connection to source. So my spiritual practice, higher self. And then alignment with purpose. So who I am and what I'm meant to do in this lifetime. Creativity and inspiration. What gets my juices flowing. And then home, my physical space, and also what it means to feel the energy of home. Health, which is about how I feel physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And then love. I'm just kind of sweetening up all the blessings that Spirit wants to bring me. It's kind of nice to put a little on your tongue. When I was in the Yucatan, they do a honey blessing there in the water. And so they take the honey jar and they pour a little bit of, they set an intention or call in an energy, and they blow the energy into the honey jar, and then they pour a little bit of honey into the ocean. But before you put the honey in the ocean, you're supposed to take your finger and take some of the honey in your mouth for yourself first, and sit with that for a minute, and then put the honey in the ocean. So yeah, honey is a great alternative for sure. A little messier is partly why I made a powder. It's got powdered honey in it because I was like, I used to actually have a little, one of those little containers of baby wipes sitting next to me, because during the ceremony, I'd be like, this is getting really awkward, and now I'm stuck in my hair. So anyway, so if you did this whole exercise with me now, or if you do it later, if you're watching the replay or you're going to do this later, you just want to, I like to use my breath. In shamanism, we use the breath because it's the life force, right? So that's a sweetening too. You don't need all the extra things. If you don't have any tools, you can just write your whole Wheel of Fortune down, use your breath to activate it and charge it. And so there's other things you can do too ceremonially. So you can use your right hand to to bring in the energy of these blessings and then to send them out into the world. So I call in for my self-health, and I dispense those intentions. Family, it's like releasing the energy for it to find its source. And then with your left hand, you can call in each one of these. So now with my left hand, I call back to me energies of health and family and wealth, because your left hand is your feminine attracting hand and your right hand is your masculine projecting hand. So you can use your hands to do the same work. Just lots of options for you. Okay. There's always sugar and salt on my floor after ceremonies, and it's just what it is. The vacuum will, or, I think that's why my animals are in here all the time, because the floor is both sweet and salty. It's like, it's like popcorn. What do I do with the paper over time? Well, sometimes it's nice. I'm just going to leave this one in my notebook. This is how your notebook becomes so valuable, right? Like a lot of times people come to my ceremonies and classes and they have a notebook and they take notes, and then they add this to their notebook, and it becomes almost like a record of the magic that you've practiced. I mean, you can do other things too. Like you can fold it and bury it in the east, which is the direction of new beginnings. But I think it's cool just to have that in there. You can dry flowers in your notebook and just make it sort of a living record of the work that you do, which is really powerful. And he likes it sweet and he likes it salty. Okay. And then one of the last things I wanted to do tonight, and I want to see if there's any questions, and then I might pull a few cards as well. But the last thing I wanted to do together tonight was I wanted to speak out loud a collective affirmation that I wrote. And my intention is, I think the world is just in such a challenging, conflicted place, and it's that way both on the personal level and on the collective level. Where we are right now reminds me so much of when I was leading a lot of ceremonies and gatherings online during the pandemic, because it was a time when we didn't really know what was happening or what was going to happen, but we knew that life was still valuable, right? We had to enjoy the time we had. So we learned a lot about presence and mindfulness and all of those things, right? So one of the thoughts I've been having lately is just reflecting on how powerful energy is, and that if we all hold the same intention for a few seconds, if we all say the same statement, if we all hold the same vibration, that we can call something different in. And I really believe in the concept of timelines, right? So your life is along a particular timeline right now, right? You're in an intersection between time and space, bound in the third dimension because you're human, right? Spirits are in much higher dimensions, so they're not bound by the same rules and regulations that we are. So, but the good news is we are highly sensitive to energy in this dimension. And we tend to, because we're electromagnetic ourselves, we tend to sort of run all these frequencies, and we become more aware of how that works and how it impacts us over time. But because we can tune into energy and sense it really clearly and learn to manipulate it a little bit in our own field and other people's fields, right? How to send it and receive it. I think over time, if we can align ourselves toward the same vision and intention, we can actually have a significant impact on the world. That's what it means to change the world. Okay, so see if you like the intention I came up with, because I'd like us to all say it together. And it is, I am choosing to create peace, beauty, and abundance now. Energy likes to have a direction, and it likes to have a timeline. So I am choosing to create peace, beauty, and abundance now. Does that resonate with you? And just take a deep breath there for a second. So if it feels good, I'm going to ask that we all say it together, and that you maybe make a commitment to saying it once a day, every day for the next 28 until the next new moon on December 30th, 29, 30. Do you like it? Feels right for right now, doesn't it? Because it's all the things. If I could be Santa and bring this to the planet, this is, gifts, this is what I would bring. Peace, beauty, and abundance for all. Let's add for all. Does that sound good? For all now. That includes you. So you get it, but everybody else should have it too. Okay, for all now. Ready? Thank you, Jessica, for repeating it in the feed too. So I'm going to say it. You can say it with me. I am choosing to create peace, beauty, and abundance for all now. I am choosing to create peace, beauty, and abundance for all now. One more time, because that's magic. Power of 3. I am choosing to create peace, beauty, and abundance for all now. Amen, aho, and so it is. The choosing part is my favorite part. You have choices. Life is not happening to you. It's happening through you. You could wake up tomorrow and completely do something different than you're doing today. The music just changed. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple cards because it feels right. And I'm going to work with this deck. I never have my boxes, so I always feel bad. But the good news is somebody in the feed always knows which deck I'm using, and then they share it. And so that person gets credit. I don't like the boxes that the oracle cards come in. So Spirit, help me to be a good, clear, and open channel for wisdom and information that wants to come through for the one who asks. So it is. All right, Rose Ravenati would like a card. Let's see what your new moon guidance is for this cycle. And they're just juicy questions too. What if the only resolution you made was to love yourself more? Spirit says, and forgive yourself too. I don't know what that's about, but what if you made that choice? Laura Humphreys. What if being kind to yourself really could change everything? Right? What if you were easier on yourself? Jenny Ferguson. Actually, this one jumped out. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. The Sagittarius moon in me is like, well, I can't really remain calm. I have to totally freak out. Ooh, that card jumped out again. And this one jumped out too. This means it's for all of us. The calmer you are, the more time slows down and the easier it is to get everything done. This is so true. It's one of my big life lessons. Because when I have a lot to do, I tend to get kind of, anxious. But I get less done. So if I tell myself I've got all the time in the world, take your time or whatever, it's amazing how much easier it is. You're so welcome for your first card pull. It was rad. Was it accurate? I hope it was good for you. Hi, Lori Gorman. A breakdown. Are we all having breakdowns right now? I just want to talk about it for a minute. Do we need to use these last 5 minutes as a collective therapy? Because I'm kind of here for that. It's okay. What's nice about our community is we can say, yes, actually, I'm totally freaking the fuck out. It's a mood. Personally, I don't trust people that I haven't seen angry or freaked out, because then I don't know what to expect. What if like you develop two other heads and they both spin in opposite directions when you get really mad and I haven't seen it before? So I am guilty sometimes of like tempting, not deliberately, but like if I make somebody mad, sometimes I'm like, ooh, but I'm going to see it. And then when I see it, I'm like, oh, okay. Wasn't that bad. Oh, thank you for that. All right, Sharon Gissel. Hi, Sharon. You know what I mean, though? It's like when you're dating somebody and you haven't like heard them fart or seen them mad yet, and then it's like, okay, we've passed the threshold. This is for you, Sharon. Do you need more time to yourself? A break from thinking too much? A kind encounter with a friend? Your needs matter, and it's time to honor them. You first is what Spirit is saying. But we're definitely, thank you for that, May. We're definitely doing a collective card tonight. All right, Natalia. How are you, Natalia? I'm going to take this breakdown breakthrough card out of the deck. Spirit, I am taking away your toys. What? Is this finger on the pulse? There are a lot of people breaking down. Life is not easy right now. I don't care what you see on Instagram. I don't, because I have my ear to the ground in ways where people are really honest. And yeah, I mean, it's this, you know, I didn't take the card out of the deck, and I'm going to pull a card for all of us. Let's see what you got, Spirit. It'd be nice to have a different message, because we did get the memo now. We're clear. We are clear that it's funky town right now for everybody, for the collective. Just because some people are fueled by drama doesn't mean you have to attend the performance. Make your life a drama-free zone. You know, and that's what I teach too, right? Like, this is all an illusion. It really is a play. Interesting cast of characters, isn't it? Not always the ones you would choose. If you were a casting agent for this thing, you probably would make different choices. I saw Gladiator 2 last night. I would have cast that movie differently. But I'm not the casting agent, right? So we roll with the cast that we have. Okay. We need to release these guides and guardians. I want to say thank you to you for being here tonight. What a cool time together. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. We're back on YouTube, by the way. It's nice to be here with you. This is my own personal channel, Dr. Athena Parakis, in my name. And I put doctor in front of it because Athena Parakis wasn't available. So this is my channel. I hope you'll follow it. I plan to do some fun things here in the year ahead. So it's great to have you here. You're going to go Wayne now. Yeah, we have. So if you want to keep going with me, by the way, in half an hour is the after party. I do after parties now after new moon and full moon. It's a class. And so you can go to Magical Entrepreneur and you can register for Wax and Wane and be with us tonight in half an hour. We just go deeper, you know, it's like one click down from this for about an hour. So it's a little bit, you know, wherever everybody wants to go is where I go. And starting at the end of this month, we're going to be doing little micro ceremonies there. So it'll be a cool opportunity. So thanking and releasing all the guides and guardians, thanking the below and above, connecting us to the ancestors, to the roots, connecting us to the spirit world, and all dimensions and timelines ahead and before us, within us. Releasing you with gratitude, thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the North. Thank you for your peace, patience, and protection. We release you. Thanking and releasing the guides and guardians of the West. Thank you for healing, renewal, abundance, nurturing. We release you with gratitude. Thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the South. Thank you for courage, transformation. Thank you for the fire in the belly that helps us create new things together and for ourselves. We release you. And then thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the East. Thank you for new beginnings, new possibilities, new visions, helping us open a new doorway tonight that we know will bring all kinds of good luck, good fortune our way, and be in service to the collective. We release you with gratitude. And so it is. Well, yeah, I'm glad we're together too. It's nice. You know, I didn't miss that many new and full moons in my transition from Sage Goddess to my own personal work. But there was a couple, and I missed you. So I got back in the saddle as soon as I could, and we will be here. So new moon and full moon ceremonies will always be free and live. It's a commitment I made when I started my spiritual work online. So that will never change. The after parties are kind of a bonus. And I always wanted to do it because I always felt like there was more to be said, more to be discussed, you know? And so now to have that chance is really super, super fun. And so we'd love to have you if you feel called. And tonight's a good night to join because like I said, it's usually there's 3 sessions in a month, but this month there's 5 because they also get a private Yule ceremony on the 21st of December. And then there's a second new moon on December 30th. So we have 2 new moons, a full moon at all after parties, and then Yule and the astrological forecast session that's coming. So it's really, really affordable. It's like, what is that? Like 10 hours of class a month for $39. So I think it's like $3 an hour or something. I mean, I think I'm worth $3 an hour, but you know, sometimes I'm always finding sale stickers on myself, especially at Sage Goddess. I used to find sale stickers and like, you know, today I'm $2.99. I know, where did the year go? Can you believe it? I'm ready for 2025 though. Remember that 2025 is so 2 + 2 + 5 is a 9-year. And that is about completing some cycles. So it's going to be a powerful one, you know, and it's going to be the ending of cycles that are ready to be completed. And we all have a lot of those. And the beginning, the initiation of cycles that are just ready to start. So it's very powerful in that way. Okay, enjoy. Thank you. Please give the video a like so you see more of my stuff in your feed. That's what liking a video does. It's not like a popularity contest. It's you tell YouTube like, oh, I liked this. And then YouTube will put like when Athena goes live in the future, it'll show up in your feed kind of thing. So it's really, if you liked this, liking the video will help you find more of what I do. And subscribe to the channel. And that way you'll get notifications too when I'm doing some fun and interesting things in the future. I am going to be teaching a class on gems. Starting in January. And I'm going to start talking about that around the 15th of December. So it's a little tiny class, super affordable, once a month. But I'm ready to get back into the world of gems and minerals with you. And I'm excited. I was not going to go to the Tucson Gem Show. I think I'm going to go this year, which is another really big decision for me. So stay tuned to my websites, athenaslair.com and magicalentrepreneur.com. That way you will get all the information about everything that's coming for me. And now I miss our time together talking about stones. So more on that later. All right, have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you for sharing part of your Sunday with me. If you are in Wax and Wane, we have our after party starting at 6:30 p.m. It is 6:05. It is an intermission now. You may have a potty break and also get yourself some tea or wine or whatever pleases you. I'll see you on the private YouTube link that's in your classroom page over on magicalentrepreneur.com. I'll see you right over there at 6:30. And thank you to our moderators and to Lee for being here. As always, we'll see you in just a few minutes. Happy New Moon.